VP, I don't get it. Why are we going over a version of the Dirty Dozen indicators? I mean, the name Stochastic is in the title. What is happening? I am so confused. Well, Frida, if you've been keeping up, a lot of indicators are just improved versions of Dirty Dozen indicators, and if you use them in a particular way, they can be awfully good. Might this be one of those indicators? So today we are going over DiNapoli Stochastic, but as usual, we will not be using it in the classic way. The classic way is as an overbought, oversold indicator, which we do not do here, as you guys know. But for those of you who do not know how to take an indicator like that and actually make it viable to where it's worth testing out, you will learn how to do that today. So let's get right into things. Now, first of all, there's going to be a programming note here I want you guys all to be aware of. Now, this quarter four for me, October, November, December, is going to be hellacious. I'm already dreading it. And I think for Dan it is too. He wants to expand his YouTube channel a little bit, and he's not really having enough time to do that either. So it's Stonehill Forex, by the way, if you want to go check out his YouTube channel. But because of that, for the next 3 months, Indicator Profile Series is going to be every 2 weeks instead of every week. I know, I like doing this too, but I will have a lot going on, including working on some other content for this channel that I think you guys are going to like. It's going to be more on the trading side than it is the investing side, which the majority of you gravitate towards. So keep an eye out for that. I'm not 100% sure how it's going to go down, but that is one of the things that I'm working on. And if we can get our time back after the new year, we will start bringing back weekly Indicator Profile Series videos. At least we hope to. But I just want to make you guys aware of that so you're not wondering come Wednesday where your video is. But I do fully plan on bringing this back weekly after the new year. At least I really, really hope to. So now that you are aware of that, let's go ahead and get into things. If you are new, please enjoy the video, but understand it may not make a lot of sense to you right away, which is fine. You have a long way to go, but that's also fine. What you need to do is go to nononsenseforex.com and read that first page. Watch the first video and you'll be well on your way. This is a fully put together system. Simply watching a few videos is not going to get you there. You must have a level of learning and a level of patience that most traders don't have in order for this system to work for you. So we will talk about that. But before we do that, let's get into the specs and just get that part out of the way. This was created in 1998, which does fall within our 1996 and on range, so we do like that. This will be a confirmation indicator in the way that we use it, a trend confirmation indicator, not a reversal indicator like your stochastics normally are. And the type, and for those of you who test indicators, you will know what I'm talking about, not a zero cross, but a 50 cross. We learned about zero cross indicators a long time ago. The zero line is right in the middle, but not always. If it's something that has a measurement of 20 to 80, for example, your midline is going to be 50, which is fine. You would treat it just like you would a zero cross indicator, but with the 50 line instead. Now, in terms of an exit, the way we're going to show it to you today is I would not recommend you use it that way as an exit indicator. But when we talk about exit indicators, we've said before, some of your classic reversal indicators may treat you well as an exit indicator, and they are at least worth trying out. What we're trying to do with exit indicators is not trying to see when price is going to reverse the other way. If you're trying to do that with reversal indicators, as bad as most of them are, I don't think you're going to accomplish your goal. What we're really trying to see is if the momentum we have in our current trade is most likely coming to an end. So is it going to reverse the other way? Is it just going to go sideways for a while until the banks decide what they're going to do with price? That's what a good exit indicator should accomplish more times than not. Now, before we take a look at this, I want to make something perfectly clear because there's a lot of confusion, especially early on. I think if you've made it this far in the series, you already have kind of figured this out, but a lot of people haven't. And I was never 100% clear on this. But I can go to if you have a YouTube channel, you know this, you can go to your back end and you can see the percentage of likes to dislikes for any one of your videos. By the way, hit the like button if you enjoy this series. But I usually average somewhere around 97 to 99% likes to dislikes, which is great. Love you guys. But my most hated videos over time that got more of kind of a 90, 91% going back were the ATR video, RSI, and CCI. Now, RSI and CCI kind of operate the same way. ATR of course, because I titled it like the world's greatest indicator or something like that, which, as you guys know, it is. But a lot of people thought I was going to give them the holy grail in one indicator, which is ridiculous, but that's how most traders think. You have to remember, most traders want instant gratification. Most of the people who signed up and subscribed to this channel actually wanted instant gratification and then stopped watching my videos once I did not give it to them. So I'm okay with that. But when I started killing off people's sacred cows, especially things like the RSI and the CCI, some people just don't like that, and that's totally understandable. But there was a lot of people in the comments section as well that would say, hey, VP, you're just not using this the right way. How dare you make a video showing people how crappy the RSI is if you're not even using it the right way? So out of everybody who uses the RSI, maybe 1 or 2% of people are actually not using it as an overbought, oversold indicator. But everybody else is. They were back then, and they still are now. I mean, go look at your crypto channels that use the RSI. They still say, oh, Bitcoin's really oversold right now on the RSI. It's due for a rebound. And then most of the time it doesn't rebound. So a lot of these people in the comments section just did not understand that, and they don't understand what it takes to make a channel sometimes, which is fine. They're not required to know that. But early on in the game, I had to kill off a lot of people's sacred cows because it takes a lot to get people off of these things, because you get really attached to indicators sometimes. And when everybody you follow and watch is using the RSI as an overbought, oversold indicator, it becomes really tough to convince people to throw it away. So in that same video, I can't say, well, there are certain ways you can use it. That just gets really muddy. I can come back later and show people that. But in order to build somebody up, you have to kind of break them down first, if that makes sense, and get all those bad habits out of the way before you start showing people what to do instead, which is another thing people had a hard time with early on. But yes, there are better ways, and we are going to show that to you now. So down below in the red is the DiNapoli Stochastic after we have kind of disassembled it into what we're actually looking for. So that is going to involve taking off the faster of the two stochastics and then taking away the 80 line and the 20 line. If you have any confusion over how to do this, go to the blog. Dan breaks it down really well. But this is what we're left with, and this is what we want. So I'm going to show you a better version of it, but it's just like any zero cross, except you have the 50 over here instead. So for this last short signal here, you're going to wait till the line crosses and closes beyond the 50 before you take that signal. And the same for a bullish signal right here. Same way, you guys know how we do this. Now there's a little better look at it right here. Again, these get a little messy, but you can see what he's trying to do. Your loser was here. Anytime it kind of comes and just dips and spends a short amount of time and then goes the other way, that's going to be a loser. And then these are going to be winners. Now, I wouldn't get too excited. Anytime you see an example where you have a chart where price just goes up, rounds off, and then comes back down, most of your trend indicators are going to look pretty good. We need to test it. And so that's what we're going to do shortly. But if you want to take your classic reversal indicators and use them as trend indicators, you can certainly do that. And you should certainly record your testing and test them against other indicators, because that is one of the many ways to find a really good confirmation indicator. Now, I have mentioned this in other ways in episodes past, probably early versions of the Forex Q&A podcast, so it's good to kind of revisit this again, because a lot of times people who code these indicators can inadvertently come up with something really good. You just have to test them within the no-nonsense Forex parameters to get it there. So all those whiners back in 2018 were actually right. It just wasn't the time or place to mention something like this because it just would have confused people back then. You guys know there's a lot of things I told people not to do back then, and over time I would say, yes, there are a couple of exceptions. For example, this. To me, that was the best way to do it. So I think most of you are on board with this, but just in case there are any of you out there that still had those thoughts in your head, that was always my methodology, and I think it worked out really well. So speaking of working out really well, let's see how these things did with the test. Understand, if you don't like the way we test, then that's fine. You can go test this any way you choose. But if you want to do it our way, you can, because down below I'm going to give you a link to my automation blog, which has a video on there showing you how to test this on the MT4 strategy tester. You will also see the full breakdown of this indicator in the Stonehill Forex blog. We will link you to that as well, and a place where you can go download this yourself. So let us see the testing now on the euro dollar. It was good after the tweaks, which is good to see. You're going to have less trades, obviously, on both sides, but you are going to get much better results and some really nice win-to-loss ratios as well, which, as we said before, does mean a bit more on Forex pairs. On to gold, which for the longest time really killed us, but man, look at this. Win-loss ratios are not that great, but my gosh, even on the default, this thing was a monster on the 1 year. So all you metalheads out there, take note and test this out against what you are already working with, because those are some really nice results. And the basic tweaks, as we know, are on the Stonehill Forex blog. On to Bitcoin, also very good, with solid win-loss ratios to match. 16.5 and 17 to start out with. That's really, really nice. After we have disassembled things and then tested this indicator the way that we do it here, I think this is a heck of a find. Now, for more great finds, a great podcast, and stuff we're going to add onto this channel later that you may really love, subscribe, hit the bell, don't miss anything. Just like I told you on the back end of my YouTube channel, I can see my ratio of likes to dislikes. I can also see in the comments section which ones of you subscribe and which ones don't. And so many of you that comment almost every week don't even subscribe to the channel, so please do that for me. It means a lot. It helps the algorithm. It allows other people to find this channel too. There's probably a lot of lost traders out there that could really use something like this, so help them out alongside with helping me out. And even though the frequency might be going down a little bit in these next few months, everything else is right on schedule. We will keep bringing these videos to you, so you get out there and go get it.